Here is my 2025 Olympia bikini breakdown. Top 5 placings, what I think is going to go down. A lot of you, I know, are going to have some things to say, some ideas. But if you know the sport and you know the criteria, you know what's going on, I think that there's definitely going to be some points in this video you're going to want to pay attention to. So let's get down to it. First thing that I want to go over here is the fact that we now will have Olympia bikini for the first time here with Fit Model in play. So Fit Model is not at Olympia yet. It will be next year, but the division, because of Fit Model, has been rapidly progressing. It's been advancing. It's been changing. I've seen and heard a lot of people telling me, you know, hey, this coach says this person says that. These are their predictions. I'm not hearing anybody talk about, though, the Fit Model is going to bring a wild card to this Bikini Olympia. And it is because, you know, we've been seeing since Fit Model's been out now, the bikini division very recently too, over probably the past couple months, has started to ramp up. Some types of looks that other times would have been too extreme are now being a little bit more accepted because now we got Fit Model, right? We got the bikini prequel from 10 years ago, right? With that in play, I think that this Olympia is going to be a change of the tide. So my top 5 is very reflective off of my belief that we are going to see bikini continue to advance now that Fit Model's in play. So let's get down to it. It's enough yapping, enough talking. At any point in time, though, I want to know your top 5. Drop them in the comments. If you got top 10, go for it. I only did top 5 because I don't want to talk for an hour here on this video for you today. All right, so number 5 here. Here's what I got for you. Maureen, okay? And I know a lot of you out here, diehard Maureen fans. Maureen is great. Very, very competitive, awesome physique, former Olympia champ. We know that, right? She is now back in play for this Olympia here. And, you know, had last year she been there, maybe placings would have gone a little different. She wasn't. She's back. But in her absence, again, I think this division has kind of gone, you know, advanced. I think it's gone up a little bit more. And, you know, based on the look she typically brings and how that kind of fits, that I think was criteria as of a few years ago. It's not really criteria today. I think that she's going to be a little bit softer and a little bit smaller probably than, you know, what would get her that Olympia title. We got a lot of heavy hitters in play now. We got a lot of, you know, bigger athletes, leaner athletes, and again, Fit Model tends to be pushed in this direction. I wouldn't be surprised if judges specifically, in other words, are placing athletes that are a bit bigger and leaner in bikini at Olympia here to kind of, you know, set the standard a little bit, delineate these divisions a little bit more. In fact, we know that's their goal, right? They put that into the rules with Fit Model. We don't want to see, you know, any of the same stuff in bikini. We don't even want you crossing over. So I wouldn't be surprised, but Maureen, very competitive, great. You know, she's going to bring it in, but I think her look is not going to be what's favored at this point, right? So she'll bring a very, very competitive look, probably her best ever, but it's probably not what's going to be favored on that stage. Let me know, comment if you think, you know, that's crazy. Let's go now to my 4th place, Vania, okay? So she's a rising star. She's been coming up. She's been getting better and better. She's been doing more and more. She has, you know, ridiculous shape that tends to be exemplified. And even though she's not one of the bigger, you know, more muscular or leaner athletes, she does tend to do very, very well at these events because of that shape. And again, I think she's going to have a rock solid look. I don't necessarily think that that look is going to get her into that first place slot or, you know, second or anywhere around there. Because again, I think she does tend to be a little bit on the smaller side, muscularity wise, tends to also come a little softer, not necessarily, you know, leaner, things like that, like we might see in some of these athletes we're about to be talking about here. So I think she'll land in that 4th, you know, somewhere around there probably. And again, keep in mind, all my guesses here, all my recommendations and, you know, ideas, predictions, this can all change with anything. This could change with a bad peak. This could change with a bad night of sleep. This could change anything. So, you know, it's going to be anyone's event. There is a ton of bikini pros here, but this is what I'm thinking so far, right? So I think she will come in, probably get that 4th place slot. You know, a little bit more detailed. She comes a little bit more dialed in, a little bit more conditioned. That could go up. You know, who knows? It's going to be a very competitive Olympia, no doubt, and I'm excited to see that play out. All right, number 3, and here's another one. I'm probably gonna hurt some people's feelings. If I hurt your feelings, go ahead and comment. But I think Ashley K will land herself in third here. You know, I know everybody's been rooting for years for Ashley to be getting the Olympia title back, and she's been recurringly getting higher and higher in her placings, you know, more and more up in this top. She's always in the top here at Olympia, but I don't really see her pulling off the win here with some of these other athletes that are in play. I really just don't see it. So I think that, you know, she's going to be third. Again, if she doesn't come in correct, could be lower. If she comes in, you know, even better, maybe just a little bit higher here. But no, I'm not seeing her take the win at this Olympia. I think that would be a pretty crazy thing to see that happen. But, you know, hey, it's anybody's Olympia. You know, she is very, very, very competitive. She's done many, many competitions very, very successfully, and she always does turn into the top. I do tend to see, you know, sometimes her look can be a little bit, you know, upper body heavy, a little bit upper body dominant, but actually, hey, guess what? With Fit Model, I'm thinking that could be favored. So third place for her, that's what I think. I think she's going to be around that third group here. Could be fourth, you know, maybe second if she comes really, really dialed, but I'm not thinking that she's going to take it that first. Second place here. Okay, and, you know, I don't know that anybody else is predicting this at this point, but I think we might see Amy take second here. Okay, Amy is another athlete that's kind of been on the rise. She's been coming up. She's, you know, I've seen a lot of differences in her physique as I've you know, reviewed competitions and stuff, but it seems she's dialed in her look more and more. It's more replicatable, it's more repeatable, and you know, she is one of those more aggressive bikini competitors that I often look at and say, okay, she's got a little bit more of that aggressive look. Sometimes that was being, you know, not favored. I think it will be now. I think that, you know, again, with Fit Model in play, these athletes in bikini, they're a little bit bigger, a little more muscular, a little bit more shoulder dominant, and even leaner, are going to be actually favored. So I do think Amy, we might see come up into the second place slot, and that'd be huge. You know, it would definitely be a very big thing for her. But again, you know, it's going to be a big thing for the division as we see these athletes kind of, you know, shaping out, bringing out what is going to be the first, you know, next season here, where we're actually going to be having an Olympia coming up with both Fit Model and bikini. And I think there's still a lot of change yet to come. But for where we're at now in the landscape, I am thinking that the bigger, leaner athletes are going to be the ones winning in bikini. So we're about to find out. It's a very exciting time. Again, comment. Tell me your top 5. Let me know what you think. Am I totally off the page? Let me know if you think so, okay? Let's go here with who I think will take first. And it's nothing dramatic. It's going to be Laura Lee. Okay. I think Laura Lee, again, I predicted last year she'd take it. She took it. You know, and I think that, again, her look, from what I've been seeing from her and what she's obviously been doing, you know, over the past bit of time, she's going to be bringing it more aggressive than she brought it. And again, that's where this division is heading with her winning. Even last year, it was a little bit more of a change of a tide for bikini. You know, it's kind of indicating to everybody out there, like, okay, we just got, you know, one of the bigger athletes in the group. Like, she's a very, very developed athlete. And, you know, a lot of people were like, whoa, this is a big turn for bikini, right? And so I do think that, again, we're going to see that. I think she's going to come in bigger. I think she's going to come in leaner. I think she's going to put a big stamp on, like, hey, I hit the Olympia last time. I'm here now to make sure you know it's mine, right? Like, I think that's what we're about to see. And I think that is almost identically going to be exactly what judges want going into Fit Model. Because you know what? Like, you could take any of the other athletes, right? Like Ashley, for example. Ashley is literally used as the reference for Fit Model photos, right? From her 10 years back. But either way, that's literally, they're using her as the reference for what Fit Model should be. And, you know, you could take any of the other ones and say, okay, well, maybe they're a little bit, you know, they could not be as muscular. We've already seen some pros say they're going to go ahead and shift over there, right? They're going to shift into Fit Model this next season. So you could say with any of the pros that are not as big, not as lean, maybe they don't like that look, they don't want that aggressiveness, they're going to tone it down. Okay, well, you could say with a lot of people, like, maybe, okay, maybe you could see Maureen going Fit Model if she wanted to, right? She'd have to change her look up, but it's not unrealistic to say. I think it's pretty freaking unrealistic to say, though, that we would ever see Laura Lee do it. I don't think Laura Lee would ever do it. She doesn't have the type of look. She doesn't have that type of physique. She has a very shapely, kind of elongated musculature, and it is dense. It is a lot of muscle. It is a lot of density. So I don't see any way that she would ever go there, right? And so again, just kind of doing a little bit of reverse psychology on that. What are judges going to be looking at as they look at these athletes? Okay, right? So, there's a lot that comes into play here, but there's going to be no better standard set for criteria for everybody who is, again, in the fit model bikini landscape, kind of confused, doesn't know where to go, doesn't know where they fit, all this and that. They're going to want a very established difference in that criteria, right? When we see the first Fit Model Olympia winner, they got to look very different from bikini. So again, I think Laura Lee, she's going to advance her look because that's what she does. She continues to always come back bigger, leaner, more and more and more. It's how she kind of got her physique where it is. That one last year, I think it will win again, and I think it'll be a big stamp to say, hey, this is bikini. We're bigger, we're leaner. If you don't like it, go to Fit Model. I think that's what we're going to see. So, we got these two divisions in play. Both are bikini in a way, but they're different, eras of bikini. And I think that there's going to be a clear delineation made at this Olympia, which is going to be a bigger, leaner bikini in general. I think we will actually see that go on through all of the call-outs. I think we will see that. I think you're going to see in general bigger and leaner athletes, more shoulders, more glutes, more tight tapers in the waist, but definitely leaner ab lines, a lot of this stuff going on all the way through the call-outs. I think we're going to see it. So very exciting time for bikini, very exciting time for Fit Model, for women's bodybuilding in general. And I'm excited to see how it kind of tapers out, how it plays out. I want to know, what's your list? That's my list. What you got? Drop it in the comments. You think Maureen comes back? She's going to win it? Let me know. Tell me what you think. You think Ashley's no way she's going to fall out of the top 5 this time? I don't know. Drop it down. Let me know what you think. And I'll comment you back. We'll chat about it. We'll keep it rolling. It's a very exciting time. Let's engage. Let's get it going. It's Olympia season. It's the best season. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Coach Ryan is out.